everybody. So we are continuing with this celebration of the second International Mindful Eating Day here at the Center for Mindful Eating. And now I have the privilege to interview our president, Marsha Hudnall. Marsha is a registered dietitian and nutritionist who has been working with people that suffer around eating for over 30 years. And she currently owns and is the president also of Green Mountain at Fox Run, which is a center for women, a retreat center for women, and they have been promoting mindful eating for over 4 decades. So Marsha has a lot of experience working in this field and also is a great human being, and we are very privileged to have her as our president. So thank you, for Marsha, for being here today.
Thank you, Claudia, for all the work that you're doing to help spread the message of mindful eating, not just on today, International Mindful Eating Day, but year-round, and all the great work you do on our board.
Thank you for that. And as you say, this has been a message that has been promoted, has been promoted for years. It's like a huge movement, the mindfulness movement. And I personally think that the Center for Mindful Eating has been in this bus, sharing particularly around eating, but sharing mindfulness with people for now 10 years since it was founded. And it's been a lot of time in which we have been sharing teleconferences, webinars, and of course our publication, the Food for Thought. And I would like to ask you, after all this time of the work that the center has been doing, you as the president, I would like to ask you, where does the board see this organization going? I would like you to talk to us, whoever is listening now, what is our idea of our current vision and mission, and what we are pursuing, so that those that do not know us get to know us more through this opportunity of interviewing you. Could you please share what this is all about, what the Center for Mindful Eating is trying to do?
Well, the Center for Mindful Eating was really founded to be a resource for professionals who are either currently working in the field of mindful eating or want to understand better how to begin working in that field, so we can help spread the message of a peaceful, healthy relationship with food throughout the world. And so in terms of our vision, that's it, is to be a resource. And you mentioned a lot of the materials that we produce, our Food for Thought, the wonderful webinars, and these are all led by leading practitioners in the field. And we have 10 years worth of these teleconferences as well as webinars and patient handouts, different educational articles to help people understand the nuances of mindful eating, and really what is important to understand both in terms of the philosophy surrounding the practice as well as the fine points of how to put it into action. So that's really what our mission is at TCME. We also have, in just the last couple of years, began an effort to be more of a consensus builder around some of the issues that are related to mindful eating. And one of the ways that we've done that is through the development of position statements that we have involved our whole membership in developing, and that's where the consensus comes from. And we currently have position statements on weight concerns. That there's a lot of question about how mindful eating relates to helping people who struggle around weight. We have a position statement on healthy eating, one on food sustainability of our food supply, as well as food security, and then also the role of meditation in mindful eating. and how that practice can really make it foster a true mindful eating practice. Um, and then the other aspect of that consensus building is the development of our good practice guidelines, which we are all very excited about because they are an effort to try to help guide professionals in developing their training path and their both, again, initial dive into the teaching, learning how to teach mindful eating, but also to what path to follow to continue to develop your practices as you continue. So those are it's a very exciting development, I think, coming out of TCME that that will really be of great value to our members.
Yeah, and actually, I recently interviewed Lynn Rossi, and we had this wonderful webinar on the good practice guidelines. And one of the things that at least I interpreted or I saw transpiring is that we are not positioning ourselves as the police department of what is good or what is right, but the real intention behind that is to bring awareness, ethic in the practice, right? Because we're dealing with people, and as you said, the mission is to help people build a healthy, joyful relationship with food, and not so much to criticize or judge or say what's wrong or right, but to actually set a guideline that is ethical for everybody, for those receiving as individuals and for those practicing as professionals, right? And
Yeah.
and in this particular sense, I want to ask you something. Like, I'm very excited to see that it already started the Foundations of Mindful Eating webinar series. I know that professionals out there were seeking for training, were seeking for a tool, and as you very well said, the Center for Mindful Eating is a resource, it's a referral, like me included, heard of mindful eating thanks to the Center for Mindful Eating. So with this development of this webinar series, what do you see? What does the board see? How can this series contribute to our mission and vision? How can it be helpful for those trying to learn about this beautiful practice?
Well, really, one of the consistent requests from our members for a number of years now has been some sort of what is the word? Some sort of logical introduction to the practice of mindful eating, so that they can understand the various elements that are involved in it. And it's just the foundational series that we've developed really is intended to help people that want to be teachers of mindful eating to really understand those basic principles. It doesn't substitute necessarily for a training or a certificate. It's not intended to be a certification of any kind, but it is intended to help the person who really wants to understand mindful eating to really engage in a logical. I'm blanking on the term that I want to use, but it's like a curriculum. It's put together, so it's going to be dealing with issues such as exploring habitual patterns around food and eating, looking at the basic principles of mindful eating, the role of meditation, how mindful eating affects eating well or healthy eating, and the role of self-compassion, as well as looking at these issues of body image and weight concerns and how mindful eating really plays into helping people with that. So it really does give you a big picture look. And what's exciting about it is that we do have really credentialed, experienced leaders of these webinars and there are a two-part series. One that's more informational, and then the second is going to be more interactional, so that the people attending will be able to really have more of a group type interaction there to get their questions answered and those sorts of things. So we're very excited about it because, again, it is something that our members have been asking for quite a while. And we just launched it this week with our first webinar, as you said, on the good practice guidelines.
Yeah, and also the other thing that I see very exciting about this series of webinars, like once I read the topics, is that they go in alignment with those position statements that you were talking about, and also with
Right.
the good practice guidelines. And I'm saying this because in case you haven't read those statements or those guidelines, if you take the webinar, you are actually going to learn that because it's going
Yeah.
to be taught, through the webinars and through the experience in the second part of the series. So I think that there's probably no more clearer way to extend our message to our members than actually through these webinars in this particular moment. Everything that we are promoting, that we believe in, that we want to share as part of this big mindfulness movement and as part particularly of the mindful eating movement is going to be taught in these webinars. And that is, I think it's a huge effort. And would you like to send a message to those professionals or individuals that probably do not know us very well and that they probably have just started to how do you say, navigate our website, and those that are interested in developing this practice? Is there a message from our beautiful president that she would like to share?
Well, I think, as you said, I've been working in this field for a long time now, over 30 years. And I am absolutely thrilled to see mindful eating start to gain the prominence that it is gaining, not just through TCME, but everywhere. You're seeing it mentioned in lots of media and great books coming out, like some of our board members have written, and it's really beginning to gain some support and recognition of the promise of mindful eating, of what it really does have to offer for people who struggle in their relationship with food and eating. And I would just say that we are thrilled to have so many people who are interested in International Mindful Eating Day, so many people who are supporting TCME, and I would actually like to encourage everyone who's listening to consider becoming a member of TCME, because all our work is done on a volunteer basis, but we do need funds to run these webinars, to put out these wonderful food for thought issues, and do the other work that we are trying to do, that we are doing. So we need your support. And if you're a believer in mindful eating or want to learn more about it, TCME is the place to come to. And support also includes becoming involved. We have a lot of opportunities for volunteering also. So we welcome interested professionals and invite you to be in touch.
Yeah, thank you for saying that and for extending that invitation. And also I want to say we have great members in the board, right? Like Judson Brewer, Sandra Amon, like people, as you say, that voluntarily from their hearts are sharing this with the rest of the world, because a lot of us have suffered in a moment around eating. I think it's something very prevalent, and there is a way to help with that. So thank you for all what you do, for leading us, for helping us stay together, and thank you for your time for this interview.
Thank you, Claudia. Wonderful to see your face.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody.